Okay, so let's start solving these two last question, which is one is list comprehension plus dict items. Okay, so we need to write dict items and list comprehension, and we need to write list all the active employees in engineering, and the second last one is set default. Okay, so these are the two conditions or scenario based we need to complete. Let's do that and complete this first question. So let's comment out these and let me start working on the seventh one is in the combination of your two things. Okay, so we will say, let's say get, or let's say we'll try to create a function, and I'll say this name as, let's say, get active employees by department. Okay, I'll pass two argument, one is employees, the other is department. Okay, and as they have asked us to write a list comprehension, okay, let's try to write a list comprehension. So what I'll try to say is, okay, for how we generally write is, okay, employees dot keys values. Okay, but when it comes to items, okay, in this items contains two elements. So here when you're trying to iterate, you need to iterate by two elements. That's what you need to take care, nothing else. So I'll just say employee ID and I'll just say employee data. So these are the two things. Okay, so when this iteration happens, okay, if you want to write some if conditions, yes, you can write those if conditions. So let's say if, okay, and from your employee data, okay, from your employee data, okay, so which is nothing but your department column. Okay, from your employee data, which is nothing but your department column, and that is equal equals to, that should be equals to department. That's what they're trying to ask us. Okay, so which will be passing that as an argument. Let me take this if in condition because this is going a little ahead. Okay, if that is equals to the value which we are trying to pass, okay, in the function, if that is there, okay, and what they ask, so all active employees. So one we have handled is like related to the department, and the second is we just need to highlight the active. So again I'll try to say and, okay, employee data, okay, and that is nothing but the column is underscore active. Okay, and that should be it, because what is active, that is true. Okay, and that will take the value, and when this iteration will happen, okay, and when this if conditions will be completed, okay, what I need to do is, okay, I need to write an expression for that. Okay, what I need to do is I need to write an expression for that. So there, like, I'll try to say employee underscore data, okay, and here I'll try to add that in a name. Okay, so that's how like list comprehensions are written. So again, it's a traditional for loop. The only thing is we write in a list, that's it, nothing else. That's what they say. But when I started writing the code, and now still like I'm comfortable with my for loops, but it's okay. So based on the scenario, we need to write the codes as per the ask. Okay, so that's how like we have written, and let's test it whether it's correct or not. Okay, and now let's try to call this function, and why it is so, and we need to pass what department as engineering. So let's come over here and let's pass that engineering. Okay, so this is the call to the function, and simply if I wrap print, okay, and let's execute this. Okay, it is returning me the list of active customers who falls into engineering. So if you see engineering is active, engineering is active. Okay, so that looks good to us. So the output which we are trying to get based on the function call, okay, So that is good. So nothing to worry about. And finally, we will go to the last question, that is set default. Okay, so let's see. I'll create a function. I will say add default employee. Okay, that's what I try to say. And we will take employee ID, then employee. Not we'll take the details. That's what like we need to add. Okay, so we are having employee, that employee ID, and we will try to set default. Okay, so let's try to say employees dot employees dot set default. Okay, so based on the employee ID and the details which will be passing. Okay, so that's like your function. Okay, so call this. Now let me call this function. Let's comment this out. Okay, and here we need to pass the information. Okay, so let's say I'm trying to call this. Okay, and employees, so we'll pass like 106. Okay, and here we need to pass the entire details, which is, so I part 106, so I need to pass this entire detail. So I'll just copy this so that it will save time. I think they have given to us in the question, so this is the value they have given us. Okay, which we need to enter over here. So I'm just trying to paste it, and I'll try to take this, and let's bring out the value what they have asked us to enter. So these are the things. So let's copy this, and let's take where we need to push this. So it should be 106. Let's change that. Then they are asking the name should be Frank. Then they are asking, okay, it should be marketing. Then the salary should be 65,000. Okay, so I made the necessary changes to the function call. Okay, and as you see the behavioral problem when we write, okay, print on top of that, let's identify that behavioral problem which we will make generally an issue. So let's execute this. Okay, so that is what it is getting as none. Okay, so that's like we need to understand if we get these issues. Okay, when we are trying to write the code, okay, just assign to some like or iterate. Okay, so let's say this is active engineers, I would say. Okay, and I will just try to say print of we should, let's say it should be, we have added this employee, right, not active. So I will say employee add, and let me call this. Okay, let me save this, let me clear the screen, and let's run the code. So it is still throwing me none. So this is starting and this is getting closed. That's good. So we have employees, we have 106, and this entire thing. And I'm trying to call and it is giving me none. Da, 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 da. For in employee add, let's print of I. Okay, it is telling that okay we are receiving okay none type into that. That's what they are trying to tell us. Should I change it to list comprehension? There was a typo. So if you see, none type object is not iterable, so we are getting a none type on top of that. That's what we are trying to get. Let me write a list on top of that. Even this is not behaving correctly. this function, right? Have we marked return to the statement? That's why it might be a problem. So that's the problem. If hopefully, let's try to return that, because it is returning a none. Okay, that was the problem it is giving us. So even if I now try to remove this, and if I try to write print of employee add, and if I try to save this, and let me clear the screen and let me execute this. Okay, so if you see, it is giving me the output. So as it was returning a none object, hence because I have not done a return. So if you see these common mistakes, like even I am making those mistakes, so just understand how to rectify them, okay, how to fix them. And if you see, this 106 is being added, and if you want to cross check, you can just check your print employees as well. So let's save this. Okay, let's clear out the screen and let's execute this. Okay, so this is like the element which we have added, and that should be over here. Can you see 106 franc? So things are looking good and it is working as expected. Okay, so I think like we have completed this entire dictionary problem which we had to do function based with the boilerplate code and calling. Okay, and common mistakes which we have encountered, so hopefully like you'll not make those mistakes. Okay, practice nicely and do well. Thank you.